Yeah, I think I'm hitting that point in my life where I'm seeing sex sell, but also seeing it can be a really empowering way for women to reclaim who they are. For me, right, if I want to take Britney Spears as like a marketing guru, brilliant, right? So she's not just getting the 15 to 19-year-olds to buy her on iTunes. Like, she's got 45-year-old women at it too. So on one hand, you could be like, or her team is a genius marketing team. Like, she hits a huge age group. Is she using sex to sell it? I don't know if she's using sex to sell it. I think that's her method.
Okay. Now, taking what you just said, is there any like implications that society puts on that
Yep.
could deem it, I guess, offensive or
Yeah.
not in the sense of how you previously explained, and if so, like, what do you think some of those were those
Yeah.
implications?
I feel like race starts to come into the picture because when people like them do that, it's not as bad as when people of color do it. I see Katy Perry and Kesha only producing music that's all like sex symbols. I don't see Rihanna doing that. I think that she's just being daring sometimes, but if you look at a lot of her other music and a lot of her other music videos, I do think that they're more conservative.
You know, men love women who are attractive, you know, who look good, who sound good, and who carry themselves in a way that's considered sexy. And women, you know, also, I feel like women could go either way. But definitely women will also buy into artists who are good looking, very attractive, and are considered very sexy. In fact, a lot of women actually look up to people like, you know, Beyonce, or admire people like Beyonce. They want to look like her. So I think that's one of the reasons why I think women in any of these genres have to try to keep up with that kind of image.
I've watched them dance, and I don't think they've seen the videos. I don't think they even know what Kesha looks like. But I watch them dance, and I'm kind of like, this doesn't feel right. Like, they're, you know, they're what I would project as really provocative dancing. Now, if they were dancing that same way to like the Barney soundtrack, maybe I wouldn't see it as provocative, but because they're dancing to Kesha, like, I'm implanting Kesha's sexuality and her message onto my 7 and 5-year-old. So I think it has implications. I mean, we won't play that song in certain places because I know they'll dance a certain way to it, right? So it's her message and how they dance is affecting where I'm going to display it. You know, and my husband gets pretty uncomfortable with seeing them do that, and he feels like it's sending a very sexualized message to my little girl. So, yeah, I think there's definitely implications and messages that happen for women across that. They've seen, you know, they think it's hilarious in Katy Perry's California Girls video, which they've seen, you know, like whipped cream shooting out of her breasts, and like they just think that's hysterical. But it's sending a message to them. They revel in the sexual message. I know the kind of music that they listen to is really pop and sexualized, but you know, I always wonder, like, what's the message that you're sending out about yourself when you do that, and then what's the messages you're internalizing when
Do you think the more mainstream music becomes, the more sex symbols are often used?
Yes, I would say so, but there are some exceptions.
No, I definitely agree. I mean, I can't even think of a video where Alicia Keys has, I love Alicia Keys. Like, her music is really, she's way better than Kesha, obviously, classic. And if you look at her videos, they actually have meaning, and she's not naked. She's not, like, of course she looks great, but she's not selling her body. She's selling, you know, yeah, her voice. It's amazing. Like, she just has to sing.
great looking singers who have absolutely no vocal talent. I've seen plenty of really incredible singers who don't fit, you know, what they're supposed to look like in mass media. And, you know, I don't think there's a gold standard for it, but, you know, do I hear some of the people in mainstream pop music and think, God, they're vocal geniuses? No. No, but I also think there's technology. I mean, our technology is advanced where you're not just doing, you know, microphone to tape or microphone to CD anymore. I mean, people digitize everything. Yeah. So I think there's a look. People call it the it factor. Like, do you have the look that I want? I think it's different for men and women. I think men do get away with not being as chiseled and good looking and physically sellable, you know, and I think women still have that double standard that they have to be gorgeous and thin and like kind of sing okay.
You know, like Taylor Swift, for example, is considered mainstream. I would consider her pop, not country, although she sings country music. She has a very clean image as far as I'm concerned.
To what degree do you think a lot of these women choose to portray themselves in that manner?
Right, so I think it happens to men too. I think any artist talks about how they either have to sell out to the packaging of the industry, or they have to change up their music or look a certain way or act a certain way or be a certain way, right? So I think that exists for men and women. But you're right, it's men driven. And so I think we see the over-sexualization of women who want to be marketable, who want to be commercial, because, you know, there's not... I love the Indigo Girls. I really do. Like, I grew up on them. And Melissa, I don't think there's a lot of 15-year-olds buying their records. You know what I mean? So there's a market for them. And then there's a market, I mean, even for, like, Jill Scott, like I said, Jill Scott, India Arie, Lauryn Hill, like, there's a market for them. I don't hear a whole lot of 15, 16-year-olds talking about those three women.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I think any artist has to cave to the recording industry and their standards. But I think that, you know, you choose what you want. You either want commercial success or you want to be your own creator.
Every artist wants to up the other one, so it's like you have to show a little bit more. You have to reveal something else, and it's just that constant pressure of having to up someone. So then they do that, and they go to those extreme measures to have to do that.
I'm thinking like music industry wise, I'm sure there's pressure from producers, pressure from people who are, you know, the marketing. I don't think at the end of the day that they have complete control over what they do. If they're trying to make it, especially like new artists. I mean, Kesha's fairly new, I would say. If she's trying to make it, she's going to do whatever it takes to get there and get her name out there. It's better to have your name out there with somewhat of an iffy reputation than to not be known at all. So if her producers are telling her this is going to work, this is what we need you to do, I'm sure she'll like do it. So I feel like it's just the drive to want to make it as an artist, so you do what it takes, and that's what it takes. So it's more new artists, I think.
In their videos, the way they portray themselves when they perform live, they have to be sexy. Their moves have to be sexy. Their dances have to be sexy. If you have to simulate a sexual act on stage, then, I mean, that's a way, to me, you're conforming to the industry's requirements of being sexy. Because I strongly believe that sex does sell. And in order for them to still have a name for themselves, they're going to have to, you know, continue to do that. I'm pretty sure off stage they're totally down-to-earth people, but definitely for on-stage purposes, they have to, you know, portray themselves as somebody who will sell sex.
But I would hope that at the end of the day, they still have some type of input. But if they're really adamant about getting into the industry and making it, sometimes, like you said, morals and values have to go out the window.